Welcome to Notolab. My name is Marianne Letnes, and I'm going to talk to you about digital diversity and digital divides. Children growing up today encounter digital technology early on, and technology quickly becomes a natural part of their world. They are part of various social and situation-dependent contexts that facilitates their experiences and cognitive constructions. Experience children make take place within different communities where communication and meaning are created. In this section, I will focus on the concept of digital diversity, and I will place this as a focal point for the treatment of various matters to digital technology and its place in schools' educational practice. Such an understanding includes conditions such as a diversity of digital resources for learning and teaching, a diversity for teaching strategies, a diversity of learning processes, a diversity of students and students' prerequisites. In this presentation, I have two questions that I will treat. And the first one is, what can digital diversity in schools look like, and how can digital diversity create and maintain digital divides? And why is this relevant for teacher educators? That's the second question. When it comes to technology, I find this broad definition really good. And in this broad definition, I have four dimensions of technology. These dimensions include technology as an artifact or an item, knowledge, in a way, technology as knowledge, and of course, technology as a process, and technology as a power or a force. Now I'm going to talk to you about all these four dimensions. Let's start with digital technology as an artifact. A traditional understanding of technology is linked to all the artifacts or objects that have been developed to expand human possibilities. Digital technology, or what is also known as information and communication technology, can be both physical objects, for example, a computer or an aircraft, and systems, for example, softwares on the computer or a Morse code. It appears that access to digital technology as objects in school varies both between schools and between different grades and levels within the schools. Digital resources are defined as the digital content used in teaching, whether they are web-based solutions or software that needs to be downloaded and installed. The teacher educators and the professional digital practice will be linked to knowledge of digital technology, both understanding how the technology can be used didactically and why digital technology is chosen or not chosen in different teaching contexts. I have tried to visualize this in a quadrant that makes visible different combination of knowledge levels. The model are created with a background in own experience and reflection, knowledge contributions from various research projects and development projects in schools and kindergarten. In the vertical axis, we find high and low levels of knowledge on how to use technology. And in the horizontal axis, we find high and low levels of knowledge on why to use technology in schools for teaching and learning. If the teachers level of knowledge is in quadrant 1. She has a high level of knowledge both of how digital technology can be used, as well as a high level of knowledge of why different technology is to be used in different learning contexts. In this situation, the teacher can use various digital technology and digital solutions based on good pedagogical justifications for why the technology is used. A teacher who can place their level of knowledge in quadrant 1 will have a conscious relationship with digital technology in the classroom and in students' learning, both when and how the technology should be used and when the technology should be left in the bag. If the knowledge level is in quadrant 2, the teacher knows a lot about how digital technology can be used, but less about why different digital technology are used in different learning contexts. In example, how the digital technology can serve the students' learning. In this context, technology will be used in various ways in the classroom, but it will receive too much focus. Technology for the sake of the technology, with a weak pedagogical justifications for why the technology is used in various teaching contexts. This can quickly happen in schools where a large quantities of digital technology have been purchased and the technology is used somewhat unconsciously out of curiosity for the news. It can also be difficult to know when the technology should be used and when it should be left in the bag. Another problem that can arise when technology is brought into the classroom is that these devices can become a distraction. Extracurricular use of digital technology in the classroom often occurs when students keep several windows open and easily switch between them. It is therefore important for the teacher to have clear pedagogical reasons for why the technology is used, and these reasons should also be communicated to the students. If the level of knowledge is in quadrant 3, the teacher has a low level of knowledge of how and why digital technology can be used in various learning contexts. In this situation, the teacher will refuse to use technology in the classroom. The teacher does not know how the technology is used and needs competence development in this regard, while at the same time being unsure why the technology should even be used, and thereby how digital technology can serve the students' learning. In this situation, the motivation to raise one's own digital competence and find out how different digital technologies work is often low. If the level of knowledge is in quadrant 4, the teacher has a low level of knowledge about how digital technology can be used, but a high level of knowledge about why different digital technologies are used in different learning contexts. In this situation, it can be difficult to use technology in the classroom because the teacher is unsure of the use itself, him or herself. The motivation to rise one's own digital competence may be present if this teacher receives support from the management at a school and time is set aside for knowledge development in the staff. He or she will be able to dare to use digital technology. Basic conditions related to technology as an activity can include to use technology to create, to invent, to design, to manufacture, to work, to operate, to maintain, and all these are some of the activities you can do with digital technology. Digital technology as an activity is about a union of technology and knowledge and a willingness to bring the technology to life and use it. While it's also about technology itself influencing us to act and initiate activities. In this way, digital technology as an activity can be associated with diverse human behaviors. Mitchum distinguishes between technological activities such as production and consumption activities. The pupil's free time is characterized by the consumption of various forms of digital media productions. Film, podcast, YouTube, and social media are an important part of students' everyday life outside schools. Although some produce their own media products in their spare time, most are mostly consumers of media content. When digital media are used in schools, both teachers and students will largely create something themselves, and creativity becomes a key entry point to digital competence. Creating and producing something within certain subject can challenge students' thoughts about access to information, how it should be processed and produced, and how it should be presented, and not least how the processing information affects their own knowledge development. And now, we also can look at digital technology as a power or force. And with this, technology is as a social construction, technology as a social power, and digital divides and ethics, etc. Digital technology has no power itself, which is debatable in the 10th time you pick up your phone to check Snapchat in the last 5 minutes. In this way, one can say that technology as an object, knowledge and activity has effects that go far beyond the technology intentions. The world we live in is getting smaller, thanks to technological developments. Therefore, questions about whether technology is a power or force that affects culture and how we interact and communicate between people can become an important entry to discussions about the role of technology in students' learning. Many have experience with digital technology already at kindergarten age, but not all. There are big differences in the availability of digital technology, media experience, and digital competence that children at school have at home. This can lead to digital divides, which can have consequences for educational practice in school. It is therefore up to the teacher to facilitate the student's opportunity to function as independent actors in face of a digital technology that increasingly intervenes in our lives, both here and now and as future independent and active participants in a democratic society. Digital divides are a multi-faced problem and a broad topic to approach. In the research literature, a distinction is made between 3 different levels of digital divides. At the first level, attention is drawn to access. This is about individuals' access to ICT infrastructure, including autonomy and continuity of access. Research on global digital divides still shows a very different access to internet, but within countries like Norway, the differences are not primarily about access. Digital technology is available in the vast majority of homes. For example, results from international studies shows that 99% of Norwegian pupils have access to a computer at home, which means that home conditions do not play a role in students' access to technology. It is therefore no longer access to technology that is decisive for whether digital divides arise, but rather what children use technology for and how they use technology. The second level of digital divide is called the production gap and is aimed at skills and usage patterns. The gap between those who consume digital content and those who produce digital content is described here. Some of the reasons for this production gap are related to different at first level. Access to digital technology and stability and the type of internet connection as well as the frequency of access to internet. The more often a person has access to the internet and the faster the connections, the more opportunities they have to acquire skills in use of digital technology, which in turn leads to more time to be creative and able to produce. Both types of differences come mainly from socio-economic inequalities. This challenges the notion of an inclusive digital society. Different types of use in different homes can help create an uneven digital practices for the younger age groups. Digital divides at the third level mean that even among users with autonomous and unlimited access to ICT infrastructure, the way in which digital technology is used to achieve specific goals outside the digital technology will vary to a large extent. Students with more advanced usage pattern and increased focus on productive use of digital technology at school can gain increased access to information and resources, and even more importantly, social capital, than people without access or passive and consuming media use patterns. This is potential digital divide can develop more quickly in Norway, as Norway is considered a highly digitized society. Research related to digital divides has identified several socio-demographic variables that appear to contribute to digital divides. The offline resources that influence different internet use are income, gender, age, and education. A high level of education and income are considered indicators of socio-economic resources, and consequently this facilitates a more productive use of the internet. It is clear that through the third focus on digital divides, users with more information skills, more resources, and more social and economic capital gain greater benefits from technology use than those without these resources. Why is all this relevant for teacher educators? Technologies available in a culture matter a lot, but what that culture chooses to do with those tools matters more. Digital technology should be a part of the primary school's educational practice. The school's pedagogy and content are constantly changing, and didactical and pedagogical thinking must include new and relevant technology. The new curriculum for the primary school in Norway has placed in-depth learning as a central element in the educational mission, together with interdisciplinary themes such as public health and coping with life, democracy and citizenship and sustainable development. These perspectives will be part of the starting point for new approaches to the use of technology in teaching and learning. At the same time, work with subject-specific expertise, competence in learning, competence in exploring and creating, competence in communication, interacting and participating are areas that must be included in pedagogical and didactical thinking around the use of digital technologies in schools. We need to let the students become familiar with technology that the rest of the society use in expressing opinions and communicating opinions. We must move away from technology as an end in itself and moving on to discussing the educational content, where technology is a resource for children's learning experience play, and activity. And all of this becomes important components when we talk to teacher students about their future work as teachers in school.